Welcome, welcome to the excellent podcast. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe I'm here saying this shit right now, but welcome to the excellent podcast. Man, I don't even know where to start really. This is my second time recording this introduction. I'm not really trying to be perfect with this, but I just want to record this so it's out there so I can introduce people to this podcast. This is the very first, I guess you could say, episode, or really just an intro into this journey that I'm embarking on, into this new property that I'm embarking on. It's crazy. For the people who don't know me, my name is STEFON WHITAKER, the head honcho of SW Films. To explain myself, I'm a filmmaker, film director, film producer, screenwriter, business owner. And this is my first time embarking on a podcast. And it's kind of crazy, man, because I felt like I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time. And finally, I decided, fuck it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna make this podcast work. And I'm super, super excited to finally be revealing this podcast in the best way. How? Basically, I'm excited to introduce it to y'all. I want to keep this video short. I want to keep this video and audio short. If you're watching it on YouTube, welcome. If you're watching or if you're listening on any streaming platform, welcome once again. I want to just basically explain the podcast and why I'm doing a podcast and all that kind of briefly for everybody who's listening and watching right now. So first off, why did I decide to start this podcast? It's interesting, man. This podcast is more of a replacement for another platform that I had called STEFON's Vlogs, which is, what it sounds like. It was a vlog channel. For the people who've been following me and listening to me for a long time, when I launched my company, SW Films, back in 2017, I also launched a vlogging channel along with it, which is, basically me showing the behind the scenes of my life and, how I create these different projects and all this different type of stuff back when I was living in Indiana. It's been 4 years since I launched my company. Recently, actually, as I'm recording this, November 26, 2017, like I said, 4 years ago, which is fucking nuts. I launched the vlogging channel as well. And since then, I have moved to California. I currently live in the Bay Area and, a long way home from Indiana. And since I moved here, I didn't do anything with my vlog channel. I basically was silent for a long time. And funny enough, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you realize that I already have a couple subscribers. I had like 53 subscribers or some shit like that. That's because the Excellent Podcast YouTube channel is taking over STEFON's Vlogs YouTube channel. Long story less long, man. I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable vlogging anymore once I moved here to California. I think just because the notoriety that I've gained and different people kind of watching the channel and all that different type of stuff made me want to stop vlogging, just because I felt like I didn't want to open up as much, or I feel like I wasn't being my most authentic self, my most genuine self, just because I was afraid of what certain people might think of, whatever the fuck it is that I'm doing or saying. And I just didn't feel comfortable anymore. I was also in a relationship at the time. And I think I didn't want to like seem weird in the vlogs from that, or I didn't really want to capture the vlogs just because of, maybe what my ex partner was thinking or saying at the time. I didn't really want to delve into, capturing that side of my life as much. And that was one of the reasons why I stopped doing the vlogs. Another reason why I stopped doing it is also just because, like, I felt like my life was a little boring to capture, which might sound crazy to some people because they see me working with all these different big name celebrities or working on these big projects. And while those projects are a blessing, it's cool. I'm very privileged to have those experiences. I will say that leading up to creating all of these different things that I either work on, other productions, or the things that I create myself, some of that shit is boring, and I don't want to delve in trying to capture my entire life like that. So I wanted to move away from the vlogging channel and move into something else. I needed something to fill in that space, which was the vlogging channel. And the podcast I felt like was the best thing to replace. I've always been a fan of podcasts. There's hella different podcasts I listen to. I listen to the Brilliant Idiots, Joe Budden podcast, Rory and Maul. Man, there's a few more that I listen to. Sometimes I listen to the Horrible Decisions podcast, or there's like Joe Rogan podcast. There's a whole bunch that I'll be listening to, and I can't think of them off top. Flagrant 2, that's another one. I listen to a lot of different podcasts. Like when I'm just chilling out throughout the day, when I'm, doing work at the crib or whatever, I'm usually listening to podcasts, and I usually listen to them from YouTube, watch and listen from YouTube. So those were kind of some inspirations that really pushed me forward to wanting to do a podcast. But I think getting an opportunity to have conversations with people is probably the biggest one. Not just conversations that from people that are close in proximity, but people all over, really. And that's the whole thing with this podcast. This podcast is a property underneath my company, SW Films. Yeah, man, I'm super, super excited to go on about this journey. Now, is it the end of Stefon's vlogs? I would say yes, it is the end of Stefon's vlogs, but at least for now, it's the end, because I don't know. I don't feel like I'm going to capture. I don't feel like I'm going to want to vlog like that anymore. You know what I mean? If I do vlog something, it might be something particularly special that will pop up on the channel, or, that might be a thing, or specifically a lot of the stuff that I might document will end up on the SW Films channel, but those would be more for like behind the scenes of certain productions or whatever. So, vlogging how I used to vlog, all the funny little shit that I would do, kicking it with friends, family, stuff like that, that's gonna end for now. Now, for the folks who have been listening, for the folks who've been subscribed to the YouTube channel for a long time, I'm not deleting any of the videos. And all the videos that I had from Stefon's vlogs are still going to be up on the Excellent Podcast YouTube channel. Just because I don't want to delete those, just because that's history. That's history of my life. And, the things that I did, leading up to where I'm at now, like all of that stuff is super important, super special to me. And also it's super important, super special to others, because there's a lot of folks who were a part of those videos and those memories. And, I don't want to go ahead and get rid of those videos for the podcast. So you're still able to watch all that different type of stuff on the channel. No worries. Another big inspiration for this podcast actually is something that I was doing on the YouTube channel for a long time, which was called Interviewing You, Interviewing Me, which is an interview segment I did on my vlog channel, basically interviewing different creatives and entrepreneurs and delving into the kind of the similar conversation as will be held on this podcast. So, yeah, I didn't, I think it was time to just really convert over to a podcast format. And I'll tell you what, I'm more than excited, more than happy that I'm able to do this podcast as I'm doing it. So, which is amazing. Now, so what to expect with this podcast? Basically, this podcast is an interview-based podcast that is supporting the excellence of creatives and entrepreneurs of all sizes. All right, big and small. I'm talking about, I live in the Bay. I want to eventually interview a Steph Curry, a Marshawn Lynch, an E40, a Rafael Casal, a David Diggs. So then interviewing, of course, folks who are local in the area. It could be a local filmmaker, someone who I work with on set, local businessman or musician, or, different types of people I want to interview about their excellence and, what good, bad, or ugly has led to their excellence. That's kind of it, man. There's also going to be some solo conversations that I'll embark on as well, which is going to talk a lot about, motivation, inspiration, pop culture, different types of shit like that. Is all going to be a part of what this podcast is about. And I'm super excited to break off into those particular moments. If you're watching the YouTube channel right now, I'm filming on my my Canon M50 right now, one of my cameras that I used to vlog with a lot, actually. I'm not always going to be shooting with a camera, specifically when I'm doing the podcast. What I'll usually do is go to here, my laptop, because all the interviews are actually going to be done off of Zoom. So I'm not usually going to have a camera set up. If I do have a camera set up, it's a special occasion, a special episode, or whatever it may be, or I'm interviewing someone who is also kind of in tune to want to do something kind of more catered towards a specific style for the podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, you're probably seeing like a DSLR video for this first introduction. And I will say this, it's not going to be like that most of the time. Most of the time it's going to be like this on my camera, on my laptop. I'm actually going to be doing most of these interviews from Zoom. And that's basically how a lot of the podcast is going to go until I eventually get a podcast studio and a couple more pieces of equipment to continue to build up the quality of the podcast. So for now, it's going to be off of the webcam from my MacBook. And then, sometimes it might be on the camera, the DSLR or my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. Sometimes, we'll see. It usually depends on the particular episode or whatnot, or if guests would like to, kind of arrange it that way. But for now, it's going to be like we was in the pandemic all the time. Straight webcam, straight Zoom during that time. Now there's going to be, as far as the scheduling of the episodes, I have pre-recorded 9 episodes after this, all interviews with really amazing guests from Indiana and a few from Florida as well, people I went to film school with. And after those 9 episodes release, then there's going to be on a consistent schedule of 2 to 3 episodes a month. That's what I'm committing myself to, 2 to 3 episodes a month. At least 2 interview episodes and 1 solo episode a month. And sometimes that arrangement might change. Sometimes it might be 3 interviews or 3 solos or whatever it might be. That's how it's going to be on the podcast for most of the time. So I'm trying to stick to that schedule because consistency is key. And I just want to give you guys consistent work, man, and consistent conversations, consistent motivation, consistent value. That's the whole goal with the podcast. And I'm super excited to kind of delve into that. Delve into that schedule. It's going to be kind of interesting making 2 to 3 episodes a month with all the other shit I have going on. It's going to be something else. So it's going to be something. So that's kind of it, y'all. I'm really excited to do this podcast. I'm really excited to embark on this journey. The first official episode is going to be out next week. My interview with my good friend, my homie, Adari Santana. I'm super excited for y'all to come listen in on that episode because we talk about a lot of different shit, man. And it's always good talking to my guy. So I can't wait, man. It's going to be dope. These new episodes are going to come out every single Monday. And I really can't wait, man, for y'all to just listen in on these and give some feedback and whatnot. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. This is a journey that I'm very new to, very, very new to. And, there's going to be some mess ups along the way. Trust me, I've already had some audio issues in some of the pre-recorded episodes that are, fixed and whatnot. But, things happen as I'm learning along this line of trying to create this podcast. So I appreciate everybody who's stuck with me on this journey and everybody who's continuing to support. I appreciate it, man. Your support is very well needed. What I will say, though, is if you're watching this on YouTube, the very first thing that you should do, if you haven't already, is you should subscribe to the Excellent Podcast. And you should also subscribe to SW Films. And from there, you should also follow me on Instagram. My Instagram personally is Arkel96, ARKEL96. Then there's SW Films Production. Follow that on Instagram. And then there's the Excellent Podcast, all one word. Follow that on Instagram. Follow them down there, as you guys can see on the screen, or if you're listening to this, go follow me on social media. Go send me a DM. Say what's up. I appreciate all the different conversations that I can have. And I can't wait just to connect with folks through this podcast, and it's going to be great. So to save myself from rambling on, because trust me, I've been rambling so fucking much in this introduction. Thank you guys. That's all I can say. Thank you guys so much. And I will see you guys on the very first episode, the very first official episode of the Excellent Podcast next Monday. So Appreciate y'all, man. You're gonna have a good one.